This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I am Samia Mohammed with the latest. First, our top stories for today. UN Chief appoints new special envoy for Horn of Africa. Mali opens international forum on diaspora engagement in national development. UK and Germany signed wide-ranging treaty. Now, the news in detail. UN Chief appoints new special envoy for Horn of Africa. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Thursday appointed Guang Kong on his new special envoy for the Horn of Africa. Kong succeeds Hannah Serwatite of Ghana, to whom the Secretary General is grateful for her leadership and dedicated service to the organization, said Stephanie Tremblay, associate spokesperson for the UN Chief at a daily briefing. Kong brings decades of international affairs experience to this position, with over 23 years of service in various UN peace operations, and a significant portion of this time was dedicated to the border Horn of Africa region, said a statement issued by the office of the spokesperson for the Secretary General. He currently serves as Deputy Special Representative for South Sudan and Deputy Head of the United Nations Mission in South Sudan. Mali opens International Forum on Diaspora Engagement in National Development. An international forum for the Malian diaspora opened Thursday in Mali's capital under the theme Challenges and Issues for the Diaspora at the Heart of National Economic Development. The event is aimed at fostering a strategic reflection on how to strengthen migration governance and harness the opportunities of migration for national development. In his opening remarks, Malian Prime Minister Abdoulaye Maiga said that in 2023, the 6 million Malians living abroad sent home remittances totaling over $1.2 billion. The Malian government must create favorable conditions for full participation of overseas nationals in the country's development, Maiga said, stressing the need to establish strong support mechanisms for diaspora-led projects, remove administrative barriers, simplify procedures, and build a climate of trust and cooperation. Bridge Africa Summit challenges old models of African leadership. More than 130 young African leaders from across 30 countries have gathered for the second edition of the Bridge African Summit, held at the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University from July 17 to 19 in Morocco. The summit, themed A New African Leadership, focuses on a leadership model rooted in reality, local knowledge, and shared responsibility, an approach the organizers say is urgently needed to navigate the continent's major social and economic transition. University President Hisham Al-Habti kicked off the summit, saying Africa is the continent of the future. Fair enough, but that's only the part of the story. The whole story is that the future we speak of will not arrive on its own. It must be shaped intentionally and collectively. Khalid Bado, chair of Bridge Africa, made it clear that this gathering is more than a parade of young African talents. It's not simply about identifying promising profiles, but about creating the conditions for collective exercises of responsibility. France shuts down last military base in Senegal after 65 years. France returned its last 2 military bases to Senegalese forces amid a wave of anti-French sentiment in West Africa. General Mbaye Kissé and Chief of French Command in Africa, Pascal Lani, oversaw the official handover ceremony in Dakar, which marks the end of France's 65-year presence in Senegal. This is an important turning point in the rich and long military history between our two countries, General Kissé said in his speech during the event. He noted that the French and Senegalese armies had defined new objectives to give new meaning to the security partnership between the two countries. The Senegalese armed forces are looking forward to consolidating the many achievements made in the quest for strategic autonomy, he concluded. The French army has had permanent base in Senegal since the country's independence from France in 1969. In other news, Netflix boss says AI effects used in the show for the first time. Netflix says it has used visual effects created by generative artificial intelligence on screen for the first time in one of its original TV shows. The streaming giant co-CEO Ted Sarandos said AI, which produces videos and images based on prompts, was used to create a scene of building collapsing in Argentine science fiction show De Rantos. He praised the technology as an incredible opportunity to help creators make films and series better, not cheaper. The use of generative AI is controversial in the entertainment industry and has sparked fears that it will replace the work of humans. The comments came after the company unveiled revenue of $11.08 billion for the 3 months to the end of June, 60% higher than the same last year. UK and Germany signed wide-ranging treaty. Britain and Germany signed wide-ranging friendship treaty on deepening ties in areas ranging from defense to transport to mark Frederick Merz's first trip to London as a chancellor, the latest visit to help reset UK ties with the EU. Merz's day trip follows a 3-day state visit to Britain by French President Emmanuel Macron, signaling greater cooperation between Europe's top 3 powers at a time of threats to the continent and uncertainty about their US ally. Germany has similar friendship treaties with just a handful of countries like France, underlining the closeness of their ties. Coming nearly a decade after Britain voted to leave the European Union, the treaty includes clauses on mutual assistance. It builds on defense deal agreed last year that included the joint development of long-range strike weapons and come after France and Britain agreed last week to reinforce cooperation over their respective nuclear arsenals.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Namibia is boosting urban agriculture for a resilient future. As Namibia's city expand and climate pressures mount, a new movement is taking root: urban agriculture. More than a way to grow food, it's a pathway to sustainable development, social equity, and economic opportunity. Urban farming in Namibia contributes directly to at least 9 sustainable development goals, from zero hunger and good health to gender equality and climate action. Urban agriculture in Namibia is more than a technical fix. It's a transformative force for social justice, economic empowerment, and climate resilience. Finally, China wants to return U.S. trade ties to a state of healthy development. Commerce Minister Wang Guanato said China is willing to bring the economic and trade relations with the United States back on sound and stable development paths. China will further optimize its business environment and continue to provide high-quality services for foreign invested enterprises, Wang said during a meeting with Apple CEO Tim Cook in Beijing. Mutually beneficial China-U.S. economic and trade cooperation in the fundamental interest of both countries and is an anchor of the bilateral ties, Wang said. China welcomes Apple to seize the opportunities, continue to expand its presence in Chinese markets, and maintain stable cooperation with Chinese partners to achieve mutual development, Wang added. Cook said that Apple regards China as a crucial market and key supply chain partner and is dedicated to its long-term development in the country. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.